Hello, and thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels Live Hospitality Show. Hope all is well. Hope things are going well. Happy Tuesday to you. As you can see, I'm kind of changed up a little bit. I'm actually in my kitchen today. I spend most of my time here, preparing those good non-meat eats, hashtag non-meat eats. And no one's here today but me. And, it's kind of bright and airy and sunny in the kitchen. So I said, what the heck? Let me go ahead and change up a little bit. It's okay to change up a little bit, right? But thank you so much for joining. And I have to get some things started here. Excuse me, my banner needs to keep going. There you go. All right. So banner going. Um, and I want to make sure if there's comments, I can see the comments. So, it's interesting when you do the show yourself, right? Because for a year and some change, I did it through a LA Talk Radio where they did everything. The back part of it, they did. Only thing you saw was me and I'm speaking or whatever. And then when it's over, it's over. I leave and that's it. Well, now I have to do everything. I have to, produce, direct, write. I have to do all that stuff, right? So, but that's okay. But I learned so much doing it, so it's fun. I don't think I could do it without it now. I don't think I could go into another situation where someone's doing everything because I'll probably be pretty, I'll be more critical now than I was before because I didn't know anything, right? If you don't know any better, then you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. So, but now I know, and now I know how to produce a podcast, and here we are. So, but thank you so much. On Air with Russell of Hotels. We're all about connecting people and collaboration. Today is May 4th, 2021. I was speaking with my sister earlier today. She has this shirt on. She's a teacher. Okay, so teachers, I guess, they have to get excitement somewhere. So she has this shirt that says, May the 4th be with you. Really? May the 4th be with you. Okay, so hey, however, we get by through the day, that's okay. So that's not a problem. But I thought that was funny, and I thought I'd share that with you. Okay, so May the 4th be with you. I don't know. But anyway, it's show number 106, as you can see on the ticker that's running below. We're all about marketing. I'm all about being a marketing disruptor of the status quo. And people always say, well, what does that mean, being a marketing disruptor of the status quo? That means I do things differently. I mean, just think, if I was not a marketer of a marketing disruptor of the status quo, I wouldn't have a podcast because that's something that disrupts the market, right? That disrupts things and put your brand, top of mind, first and up front, on people's minds, like, oh, Russell of Hotels, oh, he does that podcast or that radio show, whatever. That's what I did. That's why I did it, because I wanted to do something that was outside of my comfort zone and a way for more people to see me or to know what I do. So that's what I said. That's what I do. And that's why I say I'm a marketing disruptor of the status quo. Industry news. Let's get into it. Well, check this out. Now, I know how to say this, but Saturday night, I check email and I'm on LinkedIn and whatever every day, sometimes all day. But anyway, I got this notification it was on LinkedIn, and it said 2021 Hospitality Power Index, and it said most influential hospitality leaders. And this was given by the International Hospitality Institute. So this is what I received. This is the message, right? It said, "Hi, you have been featured in the 2021 Hospitality Power Index, most influential hospitality leaders. This exclusive and carefully curated list is the culmination of several months of research and data collection. There are two lists posted on IHI's company page. You are either in the global list, the USA list, or both lists." Okay. Congratulations from Dr. Jeffrey O and the team at the International Hospitality Institute. Okay, so I got that, right? So, and it also went on to say that check out our group and company pages on LinkedIn. IHI will be sending out a media release. Watch for the news feature. Also, we can email you an electronic copy of the award at no cost. So I'm like, I made the list. Wow. So I was kind of, I was kind of taken back, right? So I was like, it can't be right. So I'm looking around and make sure, but there's a list, but then if you scroll down, there's a list like people in it's kind of a box where, it's 50 people, right? So it's 50 names, but my name is not in that 50 names. So I'm like, well, I said, you know what? Just run with it. Don't even worry about it. Just run with it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm running with it. Thank you so much, International Hospitality Institute, for recognizing me, Russell of Hotels, as one of the most influential hospitality leaders. So I just said that to say thank you so much. And Marissa, thank you. Marisa, thank you so much. She said, awesome. I appreciate your comment. And it's always good to see that I can actually see comments and people can make comments. So thank you so much, Marissa. I appreciate that. Disneyland is open. Did you guys know that? It opened last week. So I haven't got any news about how things were going, although I've seen people posting that they were at Disneyland. So I guess everything went okay. So there you go. So and I have been mentioning that, the countdown. I every week I would mention, so many days at Disneyland, or Disneyland opens on the 30th of April, because I think that's important for Southern California as we get back to, like I've been saying, I don't think we'll ever get back to being normal, but we'll get back to some similarness of normal, something that's similar to our normal, right? But for me, I think it's the new reality. But it did open. It opened, I think, with some limitations or whatever, maybe not, full capacity or whatever, but it did open nonetheless. So that's a good thing. So I think Disneyland, as far as leisure travel, is the barometer for Southern California. So, and I think it's going to be a barometer for all of California and, throughout the nation, if both Disneys on both coasts can be open. So there you go. So that's always good news. Thank you. A quick thank you to Davon Reeves. She's CEO of the Vaughn Group. She put on, her and some of her colleagues put on a mini hotel ownership conference on Friday. So I happened to get an email and I happened to get on it, right? So I spent probably half the day on Friday, listening to this conference. So of course, it's all virtual because they're on the East Coast and I'm here. So why did I even bring this up? Because it's interesting because Davon Reeves looks like me, okay? Not that I didn't know that there were Black hotel owners out there, but she's a lady, female, right? That's one. She's only 34 years old, and she just recently bought a hotel for $8.8 million. Okay, so boom. If that doesn't get anyone's, attention, I don't know what the heck will. So, so I'm honored to even have been invited to even attend the conference. So I attended the conference, and I came back with a couple of takeaways. So if anyone was interested in hotel ownership, I have like five steps to hotel ownership. I mean, and mind you, I'm just giving you the cliff notes. I'm not going into detail here. Maybe, in the coming weeks, I'll share a little bit more, but this is just scratching the surface of, things that are needed or some of the steps that are needed to do it. Right. So there you go. So number one, these are steps, 5 steps to hotel ownership. Number one, investment criteria. What is that? Why do you even think this is a potentially good idea? Meaning, why do you think it's a good idea for you to own a hotel? So these are things you have to come up with as an owner or prospective owner, kind of, why do you think this is a good idea? To create jobs, to create revenue, create money for yourself. I mean, whatever those things are, you need to know what those are. Do you want to be a general partner or a limited partner? Do you want, daily responsibility, or do you want limited partnership, meaning, just send me a check every month? You know what I mean? So there's different types of partners. I wasn't, I knew that, but then, when they bring that stuff out, you're like, oh, okay. But, I worked for management companies. I worked for, hotel ownership, but it never, I mean, how to manage from an employee standpoint, but do you know how to manage or what to look for, what to ask for as an owner? I mean, I know I've dealt with owners and management companies one-on-one, but, how do they even get to that point? You know what I mean? How did they buy their hotels? Did they already have the funding? Did they have a plan? Did they just fall into it? I don't know. So, and I never asked that question, right? So now I'm getting that information because if not for me, for someone else that may be coming back to me, because I don't and let me finish this list and I'll tell you what I think. Do I think that I would want to be a hotel owner? I don't know, but let me just finish the list. Number 2, acquisition team. You have to form an acquisition team. Who's part of that team? Asset manager, someone that's the liaison between the ownership and the management group, right? Okay, so that's 1. Number 2, your broker. You got to get a good broker to find a hotel, right? Do all the deals, make sure, okay, this is the hotel and these are this is the paperwork involved with this. An operator, that's the management company. How do you vet out management companies, third-party management companies? How do you vet those companies out? I mean, everyone probably does the same thing, right? But how do you choose which one is better than other? Is it all about, how much revenue I have to pay them every month? Or are they, have they built a relationship with you? Are they serious about what they do? Have they been successful in the past? I mean, there's probably a myriad of questions you would have to ask. And then an attorney. You need a good attorney to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, right? So it's a whole bunch of legal crap you have to go through as well. So you want to make sure you have on your acquisition team, asset manager, a broker, operator, and an attorney. Number 3, hotel search. Location, location, location. It's always going to be location, 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 right? Not just the location, what's coming into that location? What are you near? Are you near a traffic generator? What's a traffic generator? Something like a Disneyland, Universal Studios, that's for leisure. Maybe are you near the ports of LA? I'm just using that as an example because, there's a lot of traffic there. There's a lot of business maybe at the port. Is it near a sports complex? So those are things that you have to look for when I say location, location, location. And it's not what they're doing now. What are they projected to do in the future from now, right? So if this is a hotel that's been there for a while, you want to look back at your, 5 years performance. How was that hotel? How has it been trending? Was it going down? What are the reasons for it going down? I mean, is it going up? Why? Is it because of traffic generators? Are the traffic generators all year round or are they seasonal? I mean, there's a lot of different things you got to think about. And it just started clicking when I started going through this conference, like, yeah, that all makes sense. So number 4, investment analysis, market and financial analysis. So I mentioned demand generators and like your anticipated profit and loss, your P&L, right? So you want to make sure, what are you projecting these numbers to be in the first couple of years? You know what I mean? So, and what are those demand generators? Are they on the way up? Are they on the way down? Are they going to be stabilized? Like I said, you want to pull numbers from 5 years or however long the hotel's been open, because maybe you're buying a hotel that's only been around for 2 years. Well, you want to go back to 2 years, but you want to do, a STAR report analysis and a PKF report. I mean, all those things are available when you're trying to buy a hotel. So there's a lot of information out there. You just have to pay attention to what's going on. And then closing, number 5, a letter of intent, due diligence, transition process from the old company to your new company. That's where that attorney gets involved and make sure everything's, like I said, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So that's real quick, right? Those are 5 things to hotel ownership. Those are things you need to scratch the surface and think about. There's like I said, I just scratched the surface, but there's more detail that you have to uncover before you say, okay, let's move forward with this. And then I haven't talked about how are you going to get your money to do this? Do you have enough working capital? I mean, there's a lot of questions you have to ask yourself. And if you're coming in with a group, what about them? You need like an ownership thesis. What do they want to do? They all want to be limited partners? Do they want to be general partners? How much money do they want to put in? When do they want to get out? When do you want to get out? Do you want to do this for the long term? You want to leave it, for your family or whatever? So there's a whole lot of stuff that I didn't think about, right? I learned a lot. Like I said, it's probably 4 hours, maybe 5 hours on Friday. But it was great information. So Dave Von Reeves, CEO of the Vaughn Group, I thank you so much for the information because that was great. It was eye-opening. It was educational. It was inspiring. It was all that. It was all those adjectives. But anyway, okay, moving forward. Are hotels ready to reopen? I mentioned this last week. Are they ready to reopen? Let me just make sure I didn't miss a question or a comment. No, only Marisa has left a comment, but that's awesome. Thank you so much. Are hotels are hotels ready to reopen? Are they? I don't know. What is your game plan? Do we have enough staff on call? Are the former associates coming back? If someone called for a meeting tomorrow, would you have enough staff to handle it? I mean, are we at that point where we're close to normal staffing levels, or has our hotel even got busy enough to bring in more people? I mean, but those are questions that, every hotel owner, every hotel management company, every GM has to deal with at this point, right? So they have to know, is it the time to start bringing people in? Because what I've been hearing is some service levels are suffering or down just because of the lack of bodies and to take care of people. There's no hospitality because there's not enough people to provide that hospitality. So where are we during that? So this is just a question for the hotels to ask. If you haven't thought about it, you need to ask those questions to yourself. And do it in the name of your guest, right? Because the guests are the ones that's going to suffer. If you're not on point, guests will suffer. Boom, bottom line. That's it. Clubhouse. I've been mentioning Clubhouse, and I just have to say this: Clubhouse is not paying me anything to say these things, but it's one of those things that if you have access to it, you need to take advantage of it, because every time that I'm on it, I'm getting some information that I didn't have before, right? So, and I always throw this out there. I always invite people to join Clubhouse. If you have an iPhone, you have to have an iPhone, and you got to have an iPhone. Just all you have to do is send me the information that you want to get on Clubhouse, and then just give me your cell phone number, and I'll hook you up. I'll send you the invitation, and you can get on there, because I just think it's a good way to increase your network. That's it. I just think it's a good way to enhance your network and your brand. Okay, so those are things that I look for, right? So, and I'm sure other people do as well. You can get on there. You can create your own room, if that's hospitality, if that's, there's people that are talking about almost anything that you can imagine. So if you're focused on, say specifically hospitality, there's hospitality rooms on there already, but maybe there's a niche that you haven't, that hasn't been put on there yet, like DMOs. There's no group of DMOs, the destination marketing organizations, or CVBs. There's no group on Clubhouse that includes those people. So those are things you can get on. Maybe just a DOS, director of sales and marketing, or revenue manager, whatever. There's general stuff that people are talking about: revenue management, hotel sales, but they break it down as far as they'll talk about OTAs. They'll talk about they talk about a lot of different stuff. I mean, you just have to get on it and see, or listen to it. You can't see to listen. So for people that don't know, Clubhouse is an audio only platform. So it's a social media platform, but it's audio only. Only thing you can see is their avatar. So you'll see a picture of me smiling, that kind of thing, and that's it. But you have a profile. They can click on your profile, and everything is linked to like Instagram or Twitter. So that's how people can get a hold of you, because you cannot DM someone through Clubhouse. You have to go out and DM them through IG. Okay, so that's just basically one of those nuances of Clubhouse. But it's just great information. I was actually on and you can just go into any room that you want to. They're not private rooms. If they're private rooms, you don't see them. You just go in and just listen to it. You can be in the audience and kind of listen. And I was on one last night. They had to do, it was a LinkedIn masterclass. Okay, and they had to do with get noticed by recruiters. I thought it was fascinating, because people were allowed to come up on stage, and they would go through their LinkedIn profile, and they would critique it and say, okay, I like this. You may want to change this. You may want to do that. You may want to, and it should be fine. And these people, these people are LinkedIn experts. They're recruiters from Fortune 500 companies. And guess what? They're giving their time for free. So who wouldn't want to take advantage of that stuff? I mean, that's the stuff that gets me, where people have opportunities to to learn more things, to better themselves, if you will, or just to gain some more knowledge. And people, they, come up with every excuse why they shouldn't do it. But anyway, that's okay. I'm on it. But if anyone wants to get on Clubhouse, just send me a message, email me, russell@russellofhotels.com. You got to give me your cell phone number, and I'll send you a message. And then it's basically from Clubhouse and say, okay, click here, blah, blah, blah. In 5 minutes, you'll be done. Okay, so there you go. Do you suffer from social media fatigue or social media failure? Excuse me. Do you suffer from social media failure? What does that even mean? Because people, they say, well, I don't understand social media, or I don't get the engagement that I want, or is it really a waste of time and this and that? I'm gonna tell you this. There's no failure on social media unless you don't do it at all. So if you have to start from somewhere, right? I didn't start off on LinkedIn or Twitter or Instagram with 100 followers already. No, you have to build it up, right? So how do you build it up? How do you build up these things? You build it by posting, by people engaging. You have to put content out there that's engaging, right? So that people will follow you, they'll friend you, whatever the heck you want to say. But you have to post things, right? So if you don't post anything, then yeah, you should be disappointed in your expectations, because you think that your expectations are here when they should probably be a little lower, because everything's not going to go viral. Okay, so people get lucky and things go viral, and I think it's more luck than anything. Some content, I mean, the stuff that goes viral is something crazy that's happening, someone getting shot or killed or whatever. All that stuff is always going to go viral, right? So, but if it's just general content like the stuff I post, I'm gonna get more views and I'm gonna get more people that are following, but it has to do with consistency. So for people that think that I'm not good at social media or I'm not doing it right, you have to do something, right? I mean, there's ways of doing things right and wrong, but guess what? The first step is to start doing it. But that's why Russell of Hotels is here. If you need assistance, reach out, and Russell of Hotels can point you in the right direction. So there is no social media failure, okay? The only failure comes when you don't do it. So keep posting, keep creating, okay? There you go. What would prevent you from traveling in 2021? I don't know what's going to prevent me, because I've been vaccinated. Have you been vaccinated? It's everyone's choice, but yes, I've been vaccinated, but I'm still wearing a mask. But here in California, or LA specifically, where I am, if you're outside, like I think it was last Friday, somewhere, I was at the beach, right? So there's no one else around because I'm there early, right? And you don't have to wear a mask out there because there's no one around. But if you're inside and a lot of people congregating, or maybe there's a big crowd on the beach, they're playing volleyball and there's a whole bunch of people watching, then maybe you want to put on a mask. So just be smart about it. But when I walk in the mornings now or get my exercise on, I don't have a mask on anymore. So that's California. We're heading back to, like I said, to the new reality. It's never going to be the same, but to our new reality, whatever the heck that is. So I have my card. I was going to bring it with me. I was going to show you my vaccination card, but I don't have it with me. So there you go. What else? Who's hiring? You know what? I forgot. Believe it or not, I forgot to look and see who's hiring. Excuse me 1 second while I take a drink of water. And I have to say that for the people that will be on the podcast. Did I mention that this show becomes a podcast? Well, just in case I didn't, it becomes a podcast after the show is over. And I normally post it sometime this evening. So it's available on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, Overcast. I didn't even know that was a platform for podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. It's like 6 different things that you can check me out on. So there you go. Hey, another way to increase, if you going back to the social media thing, another way to increase your engagement, if you post, and these are people that post on IG, make sure you're posting IG Reels. You get phenomenal coverage when you do that. For whatever reason, I think it's because they compete with TikTok. So it's TikTok's version, or IG's version of a TikTok, or Facebook's version of a TikTok. It's IG Reels. So if you want to get more engagement, more people watching or more people seeing your posting or your content, use IG Reels or do a live broadcast. If you're trying to jumpstart your brand or you're trying to what's the word I was trying to use? What was I saying? Oh, being a marketing disruptor. If you want to be a marketing disruptor, do live broadcasts on IG. That's a good way of doing it. I do them. I mean, I was doing one on cookies the other day that I messed up on. So check out my last IG. Go to my IG, Russell at Russell of Hotels, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So, but do a live broadcast. Do IG Reels. Those are two things that will jumpstart or increase your engagement. Guaranteed. I guarantee you it will. And if I'm wrong, you let me know I'm wrong, and then I don't know what I'll do, but we can talk. So anyway, tips for interviewing. Like I said, I don't have anyone who's hiring this week, but tips. But I did come up with something. You know, I also have to replace something with something, right? So tips for interviewing. What are you doing to appeal to the attention of prospective employers? Are you using social media? Have you seen anyone using social media to get a job? I haven't seen that, right? I mean, I hear that people are out there posting things saying, "Hey, I'm Russell. I go by the name Russell of Hotels. I'm looking for this particular job. I'm good at this. I pay attention to that. I did it. Boom. Have you ever seen anyone doing a live, let's say a live video or a video production of them asking for a job? I think so. I think we should do more of that, right? I think we should. So, so use social media to let people know that you're actually looking for a job. Why not? People don't think it's a good idea? Let me know. What do you think? I just think that we're missing in this day and age of how, video is king and social media is king and people spending more time on social media and we're looking for jobs, right? Why not post, that you're looking for a job, who you are, you're looking for a specific job, right? And maybe send that video you find out who the hiring manager is, maybe send that video to that person. And that way they can see, because they already can see you on LinkedIn, right? So make sure your LinkedIn profile is tight, meaning, it's all taken care of. Your profile looks good. Your picture is professional or whatever. And you can send out, you find out who the hiring manager is, find out what their email is, send them a link. About, like I said, oh, hi, Mr. Smith, I'm Russell Edmond. I go by the name Russell of Hotels. I'm a marketing disruptor, blah, 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 blah. And I want to work for your company. And these are my qualifications. And if you have say you had the job description, you hit on the key points on the job description, right? Well, I'm good at this and conflict resolution. I've done social media for 10 years, blah, 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 blah. If those are things they're looking for, you address those things. Just like you would do in an interview, but it's a video interview, but it's just you speaking to those people and they click it up, or that hiring manager or whatever. So I just think we're underutilizing social media. I think social media is a powerful tool, especially when it comes to jobs. And I don't think, like I said, I'm not an innovator where no one, I just come up with something that no one else has thought of. It's out there, but are we using it? That's what I would do these days. I mean, this is what I do now. I mean, in order for me to get clients, social media, things like that, I have to put things out like this. That's why I do a podcast, right? So if I was afraid to be on air and talk and show how vulnerable I can be, or you mess up on certain things that I say, you know what? So what? That's life, okay? No one's perfect. All right, so let's just do it. Let's stop being afraid. Hi, Russell. Yes, the video interview reel is a great way to stand out. Thank you, Michelle Carlin. See, I'm glad someone said something. I'm just talking to myself. Excuse me again, I just took another drink of water. But yeah, so I just think that's a great way to stand out. So even Michelle Carlin, who's this, she's an expert on keeping you aligned. So there you go. So check her out. What is it called again, Michelle? Gosh, Align Management. I can't. I'm sorry. Alignment Advisor. Advisement. I can't even think. I don't know why. I'm at a blank right here, Michelle. So thank you, but let me know because I know you're going to say something. Alignmentadvising.com. Alignmentadvising.com. That's what it is. She keeps you aligned because she keeps me aligned. So, but anyway, so is your hotel open? Oh, wait, did I miss something? Alignment advising. Yes, I did say that right. Okay, so did I miss something? So I mentioned I went off on this tangent on the social media and posting it via video. Okay, and then there's three things that you need to make sure you have, or make sure if you're interviewing. Your number one, succinct, honest, and engaging. So those are the first things you need to worry about when you're interviewing someone. Say if it's a live interview, you got to be to the point, you got to be honest, you got to be engaging. People will know if you're not honest and engaging. Well, engaging, I mean, meaning you're getting them involved in what you're talking about during the interview. Number two, try using the job description to prepare. I just mentioned that. So if you're doing a live, a video recording to send to a prospective employer, you want to make sure you have that job description and you're answering some of the questions, or you're at least letting them know that you're qualified to do what they're looking for. And it's all on the job description because those are the things that they're looking for, right? And number three, showcase your strengths. What are your strengths? If your strength is talking in front of people, well, then darn it, then do it. That's where the whole live thing comes in. Am I good at talking in front of people? You're darn right. That's why I'm doing a live, right? So that's why I'm on a podcast, because of a podcast or a show where you can see me, because I'm not afraid to talk in front of people. But that's a strength of mine, right? It may not be a strength of yours, but sometimes we got to get outside of our comfort zone. You know, I was good at talking in front of people, but I never had been on TV or video or anything like that. So that was outside of my comfort zone. So we can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay. So is your hotel open? Or did you go back to work? Create some FOMO. FOMO stands for fear of missing out, just in case we have forgotten. Use social media consistently. Remember, the whole message here is social media, right? Consistently. Use social media consistently to get your message out. Whatever your product or service is, stay relevant, and it should be a huge part of your marketing strategy. I say that every week. Non-meat eats. God, I didn't think I ever get to this point, right? Non-meat eats. Went to this place, my daughter and I, right? So last Friday, yeah, it was last Friday. It was called, okay, let me back up and get the backstory, okay? So, the last couple of years, there's been this craze, this Nashville hot chicken, right? Well, it's real chicken, right? So I'm like, well, I'm not going to try that, but it looks good, right? So I'm like, God, I wish I could have that, right? So fast forward to, a couple of weeks ago, and my daughter sends me this thing, says, are you familiar with this place? It's called Never Caged. I'm like, no, never heard of it. She goes, it's a vegan place, and it's the takeout only, and they serve Nashville hot chicken sandwiches, but they're vegan or plant-based. I'm like, we're there. So last Friday, she ordered for us the 2 Nashville hot sandwiches. So we went and picked them up. They're at a ghost kitchen. You know what a ghost kitchen is? It's basically a kitchen that there's no markings on it other than address, but it's like a industrial kitchen. So it can be a huge kitchen, and it can be several different restaurants within the same space. But they're serving different types of food. So of course I went to Never Cage, right? I ordered it through Never Cage, but it all comes out of this one kitchen that's probably providing food for several different types of restaurants, but all takeout, right? So it was on, where the heck was it? Normandy and Washington, all places, right? But went there, had the address there. She got out of the car because I was driving, and it was the area where not a lot of parking, street parking anyway. So she gets out and goes to this window, and by her name, they gave her the name, it's already paid for. Boom, got it. You talking about a good sandwich, a great sandwich, a Nashville hot. Oh my gosh, woo! It was crunchy, just like I imagine a real one would be, right? So it was great. So it's called Never Caged, NEVERCAGED. So Never Caged. So check it out if you're interested in a plant-based Nashville hot chicken sandwich. Check it out. They have fries as well. They have fried pickles. Are you kidding me? They had fried pickles. They had this vegan macaroni and cheese that was pretty good. Not as good as mine, but it was okay. So every week I'm trying to go to a different place so I can talk about it on the show, right? Or I put it on my social media stuff. So non-meat eats, never caged. Nashville hot chicken sandwich. Okay. Woo. Hotels, are we being consistent with our content or messaging during COVID times? And this goes with your website. So what does that mean? So being consistent with our content. So are we sending out messages of our protocols? What are our protocols now, that we're removing at the end of this whole COVID thing? Are we allowing people to come in? Are we social distancing? Whatever that is, make sure it's on your website, because you don't want people to show up and it's totally different than what your website says. You said social distancing on the website, you get there and everybody just walking around willy-nilly, just hugging and kissing and no mask and all this kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that that is the case, right? Have you updated your website with your new protocols? Have we posted pictures of videos showing our protocols or procedures on your social media platforms? That's equally as important, right? So whatever's on your website, make sure anything you're posting social media, be consistent. Are we showing our staff using our protocols? Are they using masks? Are they cleaning? Are they cleaning more than they normally were before? Are we keeping housekeeping sexy? Meaning, are we putting those people up front and at the front and making so we can see that, oh yeah, they are cleaning. Yeah, they're doing more than they used to, because people see that and people start talking about that, right? So I was just on a Clubhouse earlier today and had to do with a hotel marketing, and that conversation came up. They were talking about they went to this one hotel, and then they noticed that the staff was out in front of people cleaning more, but they're not complaining, but they had mentioned that they were mopping the floor. Well, they would have been happier if they were like wiping down the elevator buttons or the the counters and things like that. But they said they just spend more time mopping than anything. So, but I said, hey, is it keeping housekeeping sexy? Are they up front and so you can see them? She goes, yeah. I said, well, that's a start, right? Because before we weren't even putting people up front, show them that they were clean. We wanted, make sure you hide the carts and this and that. Well, how do you think people know that we clean rooms around here, right? Well, make sure the cart is not here. Make sure this is that. You know what? All that stuff goes out the window now. Okay, make housekeeping sexy and make sure they're up front. Okay, that's how it should be. That's how we're going to turn this thing around. People are going to see what's happening. So so make sure we know what's open, what's going to be closed. Are our food and beverage operations open? Do we have a market that's open, for takeout only? Whatever the case is, let us know. That's what we need to know. Contact information. How do you get a hold of Russell of Hotels? My email, russell@russellofhotels.com. Twitter, Russell of Hotels. IG, Russell of Hotels. LinkedIn, Russell L. Edmond. And I do have a company page, which is Russell of Hotels as well on LinkedIn. Facebook, I have 2 pages, as you all know, Russell L. Edmond and Russell of Hotels. YouTube, yes, I have a YouTube channel. Guess what it's called? Russell of Hotels. Boom. Clubhouse, Russell Edmond. Okay, I'm on Clubhouse as Russell Edmond, but I make sure I let everyone know when they invite me to speak. I said, my name is Russell, but I go by the name of Russell of Hotels. Oh, you're that Russell of Hotels? I heard about you. Didn't you get that IHI award for Hospitality Power Index Most Influential Hospitality Leaders? Yeah, right. Okay. So, and then I have a website, russellofhotels.com. Website is russellofhotels.com. And I have sponsorship opportunities. You can go to my website and you can see the opportunities that you have to sponsor your company, your organization, your hotel. Is your hotel opening? You can come on here and talk about that. Reopening, grand reopening, whatever it is, special promos, especially the people that are in the drive market. Drive market is for leisure. Let me know. And you can come on and talk. You can be here with me. We can be chopping it up. That means having a conversation. Let's see. And as you guys know, I'm into help us hotels with branding and digital marketing, all social media things where we help build your presence through videos and postings, etc. So we keep you relevant. That's basically what it does. I try to keep hotels relevant. No, I don't try. I do keep hotels relevant. And then you can go to my site, and actually, if you didn't book direct, I always tell people this. Book direct if you can. Book direct to the hotel. But if you don't care about booking direct, you don't have any loyalty to hotels, book through my site. So you can go russellofhotels.com. You actually can make reservations anywhere in the world through my site, right? So, but I always tell people, book direct with the hotel's website. If you don't want to do that, you don't care about brand loyalty and things like that, be loyal to me and book russellofhotels.com. You guys know I also do hotel site selection. People don't even know that, right? Because we haven't been selecting any hotel sites, right? So hotel site selection for people that are in the industry or maybe not in the industry, hotel site selection, basically I assist companies, organizations, families, whatever, with finding the right hotel for their particular group, which was big before COVID hit, right? So we don't know what's going on with corporate groups and associations and things like that yet. I'm sure they will get back to, they're never going to get back to where they were, but they will resume, we will resume having meetings, and they can be hybrid meetings, some still virtual and some in person. But I think the size of the meeting is going to be smaller. But anyway, I said that to say this, I assist companies and organizations with finding the right hotel to have their meetings. So I call it hotel site selection. Some people call themselves meeting planners, but I'm not a meeting planner. I help them with I help the meeting planners find the next site for their hotels. Michelle, Russell, you're the greatest resource. Oh, stop it. Knock it off. But thank you, Michelle. Michelle made a comment, Michelle Carlin, who's with alignmentadvising.com. Check it out. She said, Russell, you are the greatest resource. Oh, I appreciate that. So I try. So, and also have a live show. This is the show on air with Russell of Hotels, and it becomes a podcast. So I interview today's professionals, or I just talk, randomly about different things in our industry that need to be talked about, right? And I'm a disruptor of the status quo. So always remember that. Number one, I always ask this question every week that I remember. Number one, how's your professional or personal brand staying relevant? What are you doing? Number two, knowing what you know now, is there anything that you're doing differently or that you should be doing differently? Number three, have you connected with anyone new lately or someone old that you haven't spoke to in a while? And I always mention this, whenever someone comes to my mind or whatever, and I haven't spoken to them in a while, I'll pick up the phone if I have the number and call them, or I'll at least try to email them or maybe a LinkedIn message or whatever, just to make sure they're okay. So I think that's important, especially during these times. Number three, have you connected with anyone? Did I say that? Have you connected with anyone new lately or anyone old? I just mentioned that. And number four, what has this situation taught you? This whole COVID thing, what has it taught you? Hotels, are you selling differently? Are you marketing more or less? You should be marketing more. Yes, you should. Are you keeping your brand in front of your competition? You still have competition, regardless what you think. Competition is still doing something. Marketing is never about you. It becomes with let me start over. Marketing is never about you. It begins with your audience and what they want. Once you know what your audience wants, connect them with your product or service in a way they want to receive it. That quote comes from Russell of Hotels, right? So there you go. So what do you think about that quote? That's a pretty good one, huh? Yeah. So just make sure, basically, know who your audience is and target that particular audience, okay? But target them in a way they want to receive the message. So whatever the content is, make sure they're receiving it in the way they want to receive it. So if that's via IG, Instagram, if that's on videos or whatever, because you'll see how they want to receive it. No one has to tell you. It's just basically the engagement or the lack of engagement. But remember what I said earlier, there's no bad social media, right? The only bad social media is, or if you're failing at social media, is that if you're not trying at all. So make sure you just put something out there And then when you get to a situation where this is not working, I need some help. This is a resource. Russell of Hotels is a resource for social media. Get that through your head and know that. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm at the end of the show, and because you know what, it's my show, and if it only goes 45 minutes, that's good, right? That's okay. So, and guess what? We're winding the show down, so this is a good thing. But I always end the show with these 4 different things. I like to call these the ROHs, the 4 Ps. 4 Ps of the ROH. What does ROH stand for? Russell of Hotel. So there's some people like, what is ROH? What does that mean? Let me just drink another sip of water before I say this. Number 1, purpose. Know your why, or know why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, I know why I'm doing this radio show, because I want to be a marketing disruptor of the status quo. So I know what I'm doing, right? Number 2, people. Be a leader. Be inclusive, especially during these times. You got to be inclusive. That's just it. I don't have anything else to say about that. Be a leader, be inclusive. Number 3, passion. Either you have it or you don't. Either you have the passion to do a podcast every week, and this is your 105th show, or you don't have it, or this is 106th show. So either you have it or you don't. That's just it. Perseverance. Be consistent. Continue to evolve. Don't give up, and swerve when you need to. Swerve, we don't use the P word here. We use the S word. So that's swerve. So leaders need to have more empathy during these COVID times. Be more inclusive with your team. You see the theme that's going on here? Use this time to develop yourself, like Clubhouse. Use this time to develop yourself, separate yourself from the pack, learn something new. I just gave you 2 things that I learned new in the last week. From Friday, the hotel ownership, and today, what is it? The thing I learned on Clubhouse with the last night, basically how the master class for LinkedIn. So I learned something new, right? So those are 2 things I learned in the last 4 or 5 days. I mean, you have to take your time to learn new things. Invest in yourself. And always stay relevant. So regardless of what's going on, make sure you stay, top of mind, if you will. I mean, if you're a brand, you need this. I consider myself a brand, right? So I have to stay top of mind. That's why I post things. You have to post things and post and post. And when you're tired of posting, post some more. There you go. Focus on what you can control. The stuff you can't control, like the weather. Oh, it's going to be hot today. Okay, well, you can't worry about that. Well, you going to stop? I'm not going to go to work because it's hot. So continue to move forward, control what you can control. Your brand is your culture. Leadership dictates where your company will go. And that's it for the day. So thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. I do thank Marissa, DiDomenico, and Michelle Carlin for their comments and chiming in and their support. So I do appreciate that. And I don't take that stuff lightly. So I'm here when they need me, information, whatever. I'm here to help. So, and that goes the same with everyone else that's watching or listening. So thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. And we're done for the day. It's Taco Tuesday. I'm going to do something. I can't think. Soy riso tacos. There you go. Soy riso. Instead of chorizo, soy riso. Okay. So anyway, you guys take care. Have a great day. And I'm out.